Welcome to the 2015 Bike and Pedestrian Count, brought to you by the Thomas Jefferson Planning District Commission in partnership with the City of Charlottesville, Albemarle County, the University of Virginia, and local bike and pedestrian advocates. This video shows the count instructions for the intersection of Jefferson Park Avenue and Emmet Street, shown as location 10 on this map. This is an important location for us because it provides data on the new bike features at this intersection. This is also a gateway into the University of Virginia and a very busy intersection throughout our community. This is a pretty simple T intersection with Emmet Street and turning into Jefferson Park Avenue, which also extends as the southern leg of this intersection. Directly to the west is Scott Stadium, and to the north you have Central Grounds at the University of Virginia. Here are a few features to get you acquainted with the site. On the eastern side of this intersection, there is a separated bike lane allowing cyclists to turn right on JPA to the eastern leg of JPA. There's a new residential building on the eastern corner of this intersection. As you're out connecting these pedestrian counts, you may notice a lot of individuals coming out of this building using this intersection. Make sure to keep this in mind while you're collecting these counts. Here's another picture of the intersection looking west. You can see the crosswalk here, as well as the turning movements of the vehicles. At this location, we recommended that volunteers stand on the western corner. This provides clear sight lines of the entire intersection, as well as shade from the standing trees nearby. In the count, volunteers will record the number of pedestrians that pass through the intersection. We will also collect bike counts, in addition to records of their turning movements through this intersection. This is the bike count form, where volunteers will record the number and movement of cyclists through the intersection. There are 6 boxes in this diagram representing the various turning movements in the intersection. When a cyclist passes through this location, make a tick mark in the appropriate box, indicating the movement and the direction from which the cyclist approached. For example, if a cyclist approached from the west on Emmet Street and turned right on the JPA, the volunteer would include a tick mark on box A2. If a cyclist approached from the east, passing directly through the intersection, moving from JPA onto Emmet Street, the volunteer would include a tick mark on box B1. Volunteers are asked to conduct these counts in 15-minute increments to provide a more detailed breakdown of the counts. Every 15 minutes, start a new form and make sure to indicate the time on each sheet. This effort records the number of people on bikes, not the number of bicycles. For example, in the picture on the left, there are 2 individuals on this bicycle. Consequently, the volunteer would include 2 marks on the form. The picture on the right shows 5 people, which includes an infant. This would count as 5 in the bike form. Also, we ask volunteers to count all cyclists, even those riding on the sidewalk. Collecting counts on pedestrians is more basic. Volunteers will not record turning movements, but the total number of pedestrians. These marks will go into a box on the form apart from the intersection diagram. No matter the turning movement in the intersection, each pedestrian will count as 1 in the sidebar. Also, remember to conduct these counts in 15-minute increments. Using a new form every 15 minutes, make sure to indicate the time on each sheet. When conducting the pedestrian count, make sure to include people in wheelchairs and children in strollers. For people on skateboards or rollerblades, mark those individuals as other on the form. When volunteers arrive at the site, they should bring a copy of the count instructions, the location map, and most importantly, the count form with the intersection diagram. If you would like to borrow a clipboard, please visit the TJPDC offices and check one out. Also, make sure to bring extra pens or pencils, along with the contact information of the project lead, Will Cockrell, in case someone on site inquires about the count and would like to learn more. Bring sunscreen, snacks, and water, especially if you are counting for more than an hour. Finally, make sure to bring a watch or cell phone to keep track of those 15-minute increments. Once you've reached the site, become familiar with your surroundings. If you ever feel unsafe, stop counting and leave the location. Your safety is our priority. Also, it's best to arrive 15 minutes before your time slot, allowing yourself to assess the intersection and to review the count form. This may also allow time to interact with a volunteer from the previous time slot and ask about any difficulties he or she experienced with the counts. For more information, visit the project website. You can find detailed count instructions and forms for the different locations, frequently asked questions, and other important information. If you would like to sign out a clipboard or pick up copies of the forms, please visit the TJPDC offices at 401 East Water Street. The project lead is Will Cockrell. You can contact him for additional assistance or questions about the counts. We would like to thank all of our volunteers for their efforts. This information will be critical for identifying and prioritizing bike and pedestrian projects in our area. We greatly appreciate your time and look forward to seeing your counts. Thank you.